Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes. We've got two storm systems heading for the east that are heading for the eastern seaboard this Friday through Sunday. We're going to be talking about that and much more tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to tune in. The Joe and Joe Weather Show and Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. It's about mulch, topsoil, and a whole lot more as we get through this spring. 631-756-1125 is the phone number. The website is omnitruevalue.com. And also our affiliate Tempest by Weatherflow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system and join the fastest growing observing network on the planet. You can find the link on the descriptor to this video and use the coupon code Joe and Joe Weather Show. You get 10% off on any purchases. Let's start off with the satellite loop, which is showing stubborn cloud cover. I honestly thought that this stuff would get out of the way, but it did not, or it's having a real tough time getting out of the way for sure, as there are some breaks, especially as you head into eastern Pennsylvania and further north up the Hudson Valley and even over parts of North Jersey and Long Island. But there are other areas that are dealing with a solid overcast. We're running out of time for improvement because we've got the first of those two storm systems that are going to be headed our way. Here's the wider satellite view this afternoon, and you see the rotation that is back in Texas and all the clouds and tropical moisture that has surged up into the southeastern part of the United States and in the central and eastern Gulf states as well. The radar is rather busy here. And we also have some severe weather issues as well. Heavy rains in North Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and western North Carolina. Also, as you go south into Georgia along the Alabama, Florida coastline, and then off the coast of southeast Louisiana, we're seeing some heavy thunderstorms that have developed there. And also, we're seeing a band of rain across southern Missouri into southern Illinois and Indiana. So all of this is going to be translating to the east. Speaking of the east, the northeast at least, there's still some showers in southeastern New England and on up into Maine. And we also have precipitation that is running across the northern Great Lakes all the way back to the Dakotas and into Montana. That's all part of this blocking pattern that's in play, and it's going to be around for quite a while yet. The Storm Prediction Center today has a slight risk. It's actually three areas of slight risk: Arkansas, northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, southwest Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, southeast Alabama, and also along the Florida East Coast up into coastal Georgia. And that comes, by the way, with as much as a 5% tornado risk in the area covering the Florida Panhandle, southwest Georgia, and southeastern Alabama. Now, for tomorrow, the severe weather risk shifts east, and also a new area of risk develops in Texas, with an enhanced risk showing up in north central Texas, which includes the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a 5% tornado risk there. And we have a marginal risk from much of central and southern Virginia to West Virginia and southeastern Ohio, and then down the coast through the Carolinas and Georgia, and once again into Florida. That is now to day 3, and this is Saturday into Sunday. We have a marginal risk indicated along the Gulf Coast from southeast Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle, southwest Georgia, southern Alabama, and southern Mississippi. And we'll jump to the day 4 to 8 time frame. Predictability too low for day 4, and potential is too low from days 5 through day 8. So as we go into next week, severe weather will not be an issue. We do have significant rains being indicated up and down the eastern seaboard. The purple is 1.5 inches. The darker purple is 1.75 inches. And then you start to get into the darker reds, which are 2 inches plus. And that's going to be rather common from New England right down the coast. And then you get into some really big amounts of as much as 4 or 5 inches in southern Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, and back over into southern Alabama and southern Mississippi. Not too much going on in the west, save for parts of the Rockies where we're seeing anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of liquid precipitation being indicated. So going to take you through these two storm systems with the latest afternoon run of the GFS. Not really a whole lot has changed here. We may actually partially clear out tonight before we cloud up again tomorrow. The onshore flow is going to set up with an east-southeast wind. This arm of rain moves up the eastern seaboard. This is Friday morning from Virginia northwestward into Ohio and Indiana. You see some showers and thunderstorms there in Florida. That rain pushes northward for Friday afternoon into Friday night. Still hanging around as we get into Saturday morning. And it may take a good chunk of the day Saturday to get that rain out of the way. It may actually linger, especially in southern New England down to about Long Island. Then we catch a short break because now the next low is coming up, and this one is going to ride up the east side of the Appalachian. So more rain will be coming in probably Sunday late morning, early afternoon from south to north. And then we'll get the low to finally go by during Sunday night so that it should all be over with by Monday morning. So between the two systems, we should be able to squeeze out a solid couple of inches of rain. Once we get into next week with this blocking pattern that's going to be holding, it'll be mostly on the dry side. There'll probably be some instability clouds that we'll have to deal with on Monday and on Tuesday, and again, even on Wednesday. And that'll cause some showers maybe to develop during the afternoon in inland spots. I might even reach the coast. They should be mostly scattered in nature. But one of the things I will point out is that it's liable to be not only on the chilly side for the first part of next week, with temperatures by day having a tough time getting out of the 50s, maybe even at best to low 60s, but the wind is going to be an issue. We're going to have gusty winds Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and maybe even into Thursday because of this blocky scenario that's setting up, keeping low pressure mainly to our east, and the gradient is relatively tight, and there's no sign of any warm air coming anytime soon. At least I think through the 9 or 10 days of the month of May, we are going to be on the chilly side of normal. We will, of course, get into all of this in great detail tonight, again on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, and that will be at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So we will see you then.